This is an exotic. This is another exotic. We're gonna use these two exotics to make an amazing healing warlock melee strand build. We already know that Strand has a lot of amazing traits and stuff. Unravel, Sever, Suspend, Threadlings, Grapple, a lot of things to choose from. It also has Woven Mail, which is amazing for survivability right now, but what it doesn't have is healing, at least not on Warlock. How about we make a build that has all that Strand stuff and then we put healing on top of all that? So I've talked about healing a lot, and the reason is because if you use Strand, you've noticed that that's one of the biggest issues with it. It's great in keeping things in place, it's great in doing damage and stuff like that, but you get to a point where you want to heal because you're low or whatever, and you can't do that. That's the main reason for the exotic for this build, Karnstein Armlets, which gives half HP on melee kills and constant health regeneration for 7 seconds. And this is what that looks like. So as you can see, it pretty much makes you very hard to kill. But like I said, it only lasts for 7 seconds. So what we're going to do with the rest of the build is be able to make sure we can refresh that as often as possible. Before we get even deeper into the subclass, normally on Warlock, melee is the last option anyone thinks about. Maybe you could use it on Sunbracers as a way to proc your grenades, but for the most part, people don't actively use their melee on the Warlock subclass. That's why I'm really excited about this build. I'm a Titan main, and well, I don't have to tell you how much fisting I do there. There are two kinds of melees we'll be using for this build, the grapple melee and the charge melee. The grapple melee spawns Threadlings on impact with the mind spawn invocation aspect, while the charged melee unravels targets on hits, and you can hold up to 3 melee charges at once. Out of everything we said we wanted to stack up into this build, we've covered grapple, unravel, and threadling. Let's get into the rest of what the build is capable of. The other aspect we'll be using is the Wanderer aspect. This aspect causes a delayed suspension blast on impact when you throw a tangle at a bunch of enemies. In fact, if you just stick it to a wall and it's close enough to some enemies, it's gonna suspend them as well. For fragments, we'll use Thread of Isolation. It severs enemies when you land rapid precision hits, which reduces enemy damage done to you by about 30%. We also use the Thread of Warden fragment, which provides Woven Mail on overpowered pickups. This is probably the most commonly used fragment in the game, so hey, probably knew about this one, but for those people that didn't know, there you go. This reduces all incoming damage by 50%. Adding healing on top of this makes death almost impossible. The other two fragments help regenerate our grapple and melee energy, so that's our grenade and melee. Thread of Generation gives grenade energy for doing damage, and Thread of Fury gives melee energy when you damage with a tangle. Usually I give a weapon recommendation that has perfect synergy with the build, but you've seen everything for this build already works without any weapons, so you can use anything that you like cause it'll work. But for those people who really want a choice from me, I've been enjoying using the Huckleberry lately. It's an amazing slaying weapon, and that's really important because the way this build works is you use your grapple melee on something and then you have 8 seconds of constant healing, and between that time you can kill as many things as possible to regenerate your grenade. This weapon's really unique for that because of the 3 things it's able to do. The perk Riding Bull increases the rate of fire of the weapon, which is already insane to make an SMG that's supposed to shoot at 750 RPM go to almost 900. Then if you get a kill, it procs something like Subsistence, which gives you ammo back into the magazine. And it also has Rampage that could stack up to ×3, giving you another 33% increase in damage. So if you get into a bunch of ads, you're basically just shooting non-stop and everything is just going to die. Only 2 stats are a priority for this build. Normally I suggest 3, but this build is good enough that it doesn't really matter what are the stats that you use. We'll run max resilience for the highest survivability and max discipline to get our grenade as fast as possible, because like we said, we want to use the grapple melee as often as possible, which means we need our grenade energy to be up at all times. We're only going to talk about 3 of the mods for this build. We're going to leave the rest of them for you to get through the dim lane. I want to focus on these ones because the synergy between them is so sick that it almost feels broken when you use it. Those three mods are Grenade Kickstart, Heavy Handed, and Impact Induction. When you grapple to an enemy, because we have Grenade Kickstart, it returns 30 to 50% of our grenade energy before we even get to the target. When we use our grapple melee on that target and kill it, it spawns an orb of power because of Heavy Handed. And it also returns more grenade energy on hit with Impact Induction. And because we're doing damage, the Fragment Thread of Generation provides grenade energy to us as well. This combo damn near gives you your grenade back instantly just by doing one motion. We've touched on bits and pieces of how the loop of this build is going to work, but let's break it down real quick. You start by using your grapple grenade and then the grapple melee, which starts health regeneration, makes an orb of power, and creates a tangle on kill. Grab that tangle and throw it at other enemies, which suspends them and gives you melee energy. While your heal is still active, just kill things until your grenade is back and you can repeat that sequence over and over. Keep in mind you still have your charge melees through this cycle. You can use this at any time to be able to force yourself to heal, and it causes Unravel, which starts to attack enemies, doing more damage to everything and just killing everything in your way. I like to put this section in the video just to give people the chance to write a comment down. Good, bad, constructive, whatever it is, it helps with the impressions for the video. If you really like the video, don't forget to leave it a like as well. Subscribe if you're new to the channel so you can see more anti-meta builds like this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.